You're listening to the Voice of Mail podcast. Send us your voicemails by going to vomp.site and just hitting that one button, record button. Send us your messages, make it interesting. Vomp.site. Use your tablet, your laptop, your smartphone, anything with internet access, and we get the message and we might put it on the show. Don't forget to subscribe for your favorite podcast app. If you want one that's neutral to Android or iOS, we recommend Castbox. That's enough of that. Thanks for checking out the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Voice of Mail podcast, the podcast series where we take your digital voicemails from the power of the internet and we use them as talking points for our discussions. I'm here with your lovely hosts, the guys that I started the podcast with from the very beginning, Jolie Farah and Stanley Ike on the mic. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Yes.
Good to be back after a week off.
Couldn't be happier to be here. Yes.
We miss you too much, Jolie. You know, you're always disappearing. What's going on?
That's a bit of sarcasm there, but no, not much. You know, just went to the Fringe. Went to see many a shows. Sunday Service. Shout out to that. That was a great show. So loved it.
Yep, Sunday Service, Fringe Festival. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the time of this recording, guys, it's actually something pretty sad has happened in the world of music entertainment. Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, has passed away. You know, the only good thing, let me word this correctly.
Yeah.
The positive thing that happened before she passed away was that she was hospitalized about 3 days ago. And because people was fearing this might happen, they already announced they're going to do a celebratory show for her in November, which she actually I can't wait. You know, it's a shame she's going to be there to see it, but it's good she left this earth knowing we was going to do that for her. Yeah. You know, before she left, because you know it happens a lot after you go, but she knew that we was about to celebrate her before she passed. It's a small thing, but I think it's awesome to know that we're going to be celebrating her. And you know,
no, of course, yeah.
I mean, she'll go down as one of the all-time greats, you know, and she would have known that she left her mark on this world. So, yeah, rest in peace, Aretha Franklin.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
You know, we do have a music voicemail. I think we got one or two music-related voicemails. And speaking of which, we actually got feedback from last week's show about reggaeton or bashment and my.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of hate. I knew that was going to happen.
You called it. Okay.
You know, I jump on the Jamaican type music and I'm going to get assassinated.
I so want to hear this.
No, you will. But before that, actually, do you remember I tell you that sometimes I get feedbacks and I change the voices and, you know, I take the mick out of them? Well, this time, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to play a very nice voicemail without changing their voice. You can hear directly from the person. And
I'll let them hang themselves.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah. Why don't I play the message and I'll let you guys, you know, speak up on it.
Hey, how's it going, motherfuckers? I'm here in the US of A, in the lovely state of Colorado. And I gotta say, with all the political intrigue going on these days, and all these deep-cutting issues, I figured I'd send you a question that is of utmost relevance. What I want to ask you is, why the hell did you pick such a stupid-ass name for the show? Vomp? That doesn't sound like a podcast. You know how it sounds like? It sounds like a sex act performed by two obese homosexual men. You got bumped all over your face? Motherfucker.
Hey, another delightful message brought for us from the power of the internet.
Okay.
What do you guys think of that?
He put way too much thought into that.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think he's a bit disturbed if the first thing he thinks about is two obese gay guys or whatever it was he said. For someone who has such a level voice, I got a lot of aggression from that voicemail. You seemed really angry.
I love a good dose of hate.
Gosh, isn't it? It actually energizes the soul. You know what I mean?
No, no, more feedback like this, please,
guys. I have bucket loads, but you know, I actually like the sound of that voice. You know,
no, it was
look, a name is a name. You know, and Vomp is just abbreviation of the full name of the podcast. One of the most popular podcasts of all time is the Joe Rogan Experience. And that is the most blandest name you could ever possibly imagine. So.
Let me tell you something. I spoke to a marketer, and the reason why I don't, guys, before this, I had a podcast called Dreamcast. Damn right, everything anime, manga, Planet Tyro. Names don't mean shit. Apple, can you get more simple than Apple? Micro, so I mean, names, brands are built upon content and products. They're not built upon names. Names are built by actual things about reputation. You can call anything. The shit, the fuck face, anything will sell. Trust me. So I learned that from an actual marketer, and it's true. So, but I will say this: I am trolling you guys with that message because actually that is from Simon Vad, my arsehole American friend, who's actually going to be on the show probably next week. So I already told you he's a fucking arsehole, and most of you guys listening knew exactly who that was when you heard it. But yeah. So Simon, fuck you, and we'll see you on the show. I think even next week. So moving on.
We're off to a good start.
I know, that was nice. I wanted to surprise you guys. Now you finally heard his arsehole voice. But Simon, when you're here, it's going to be a different story. But let's get to the feedback from last week's episode about the Bashman situation. Someone that's actually in my inner circle has something very... Well, actually, this was directed a bit towards me, but I know that Jolie might get a bit of a kick out of this.
Oh, I love this. Come on.
Yeah, let's have a listen. Yeah.
Wagwan, rude boys. Hi, guys. This is Nuance. So I was listening to her last podcast and I have to say I was definitely laughing, especially when Jesse was talking about how he got slapped. I think the whole point is, I'm just going to take it from a female point of view when it comes to bashment music and winding up, right? When I was growing up, it was a well-known thing that as soon as any kind of raga, reggae, bashment, whatever that comes on, if you are on the dance floor, you're going to get wound up by a man, or by some boy. The whole point is, though, that they usually come up from behind. So I don't know if, Jess, you came up from the front. Because normally the guy will come up from behind and you'll start winding up. You don't know what the guy looks like. You don't really want to know what the guy looks like. If you're winding up with the guy all night, you might get a surprise when the lights come on. So my question to you is, were the lights on when you went and got slapped by that girl, or did you go to her from the front? Because both of those are a definite no-no. Okay, so that's number one. I think the lights were on, or you must have gone up from the front.
Yeah, thanks. Let me stop you right there.
The lights were on, you know.
Okay. let me tackle that quick. Stanley, let me get something Stanley before I tackle this.
Yeah, does she have a PhD in bashment etiquette or something?
Stanley, you better watch yourself. I'm talking to a black woman. You better tone that back. You know what I mean? If you say that to a black woman right after she said that, you would experience what I experienced in the club that day. Oh, really? The lights were off. I came from behind. That's the technique, because if a girl sees you and she don't like you, why is she going to give you the chance? You come from behind. You see, in the context of 2018, this actually sounds like physical assault, but it's not. This is how you dance with a woman in the club back in the day. All right, I approached her from the back. I came in, guiding myself in, winding. Yeah. She didn't like my moves, or whatever. Turn her, pow! She didn't even look. She just didn't like what she was feeling, and I, don't even read into that. I'm just saying that for whatever reason, she wasn't feeling it. I know the routine. Thank you, Nuance. I know how it's done, but she weren't having it. And that's why that happened.
So it seems like some of the ladies aren't singing from the same hymn sheet here.
Yeah.
Also,
it looks like she had a little peek. Yeah.
Also, she has to understand there's also the other etiquette, right? When you just come from behind, as per her rules, and then she's got her opposite friend standing there. And then she's doing the whole, like, what does he look like? What does she look like? And then, like, she either pulls her in, and then you're just getting rejected. She hasn't even looked at you. Her friend has rejected you.
She did the spying, yeah.
Oh, God.
Have you ever been in that situation? You ever go to a reggae club and then you're dancing, you try to
No, because I've been to several different, clubs, be it, like, predominantly, like white clubs and black clubs. Yeah. And there are very different rules. Very different rules there. So,
of course.
So in the black clubs there, right?
Yeah, that's what
you're gonna have to. Yeah, you just have to, just rock up. And I was like, wow, okay, you're gonna have to be more aggressive.
Exactly.
You can't.
And it's a gamble. It's a coin toss.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. You're not. It's not always gonna be 100%. you can come aggressive to the wrong aggressive woman.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she'll just do the roundhouse.
I had
Roundhouse kick.
the bravery to come forward with my story, and all I get is suspicion about how my technique is off. I don't appreciate that.
How soon did she slap you? Was it just like
To be
straight
fair,
away?
nah, it was about a minute and a half.
Really?
Because I was
So
getting
she-
into the song.
Took that long
Yeah.
to make that decision.
Yeah.
See,
What
this is what.
Oh,
this is
And
it.
then in the next minute, and then some next
See,
man
this
came on.
changes things, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Changes
thought this
things,
was a
man.
2-second thing?
Yeah.
I thought this was like
this was
yeah.
halfway through a song.
See, that's just straight crazy. That
is-
lady's
that
straight
is-
crazy there.
But then the next brother who
Maybe
came
she
all-
saw her boyfriend across the dance floor. And
Look,
then-
if a girl, you see, this is another thing about the rules. And sorry, guys, I know this we ain't started the podcast yet, but let me say this: if a girl's on the dance floor on her own dancing, no one's next to her, you don't assume her man's in the corner watching, letting her do that. She's putting herself out
that's
there.
true, that's
no,
true.
of course.
And
That's true.
don't get me wrong, that could be the situation. She could be, putting her man on blast by, I'm a dance. You just sit there and watch. I want to dance with you. Yeah. But you know what's going to happen? Brother like me is going to come and she's going to let me dance and then I'm going to have a fight with him. But that didn't happen. I got slapped. And people were laughing in the comment section, in the replies, which is all good. It's for your entertainment. That's fine. But I ain't do nothing wrong. The girl was just, I don't want to use the word. She was not friendly. She was not nice. And right now, she probably got 10 kids in the ghetto, winding up, teaching her daughters how to wind up on the pole. I'm playing, guys. I'm playing, love.
But we fully agree with
That was a 2-part. Actually, I stopped the
Probably right.
The voicemail's not over.
Okay.
So there's a bit more just to wrap this up because actually she's actually going to educate us some more.
Oh, okay.
The
wow.
education hasn't stopped yet.
Damn,
You
she's
guys ready for some more?
got a doctorate in this. man.
Secondly, in regards to bashment and Afrobeats and all that kind of thing, I think, especially for my generation, being an older Black British woman, when we were growing up, especially being African, when we were growing up, it was hard to hear any kind of African music, any kind of African influence. And in the Black community, sorry, but if you were African, your music, the way you dressed or anything like that wasn't that accepted in the UK. Just the same way that we are celebrating Black Panther nowadays, we as Black people are also celebrating our African culture. And I think that has left to an amalgamation of all like Black music. So right now, I know that you were talking about Afrobeats. There are artists that are from Africa that go over to America or not America, go over to Jamaica and are influenced a lot by the Caribbean music and have kind of amalgamated it all together. So you played some light Afrobeat music, if there's other artists like Shatta Wale and people like that, Stonebwoy, that play some hardcore, you may call it bashment, but I think it's just like an amalgamation of all the music coming together. And I don't know no man that don't like a nice wine. You get me? You guys are so cute, but most guys, they like to get wind up on. And that is part of our culture, whether you are African or whether you're Caribbean, Black people, not even only Black people. I think that the wind up culture, getting close and wind up in the dance is part of a lot of cultures. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there. I hope that slap doesn't still sting. It sounds like it stings a little bit sometimes.
Thanks for that lovely voicemail. Thanks for wrapping it up.
gosh.
I'm gonna let
She
you
made some
guys speak.
excellent points.
I'm gonna let you guys speak.
I just thought she made some excellent points. Actually, there are 1 or 2 Afrobeats, from Africa artists that when you hear them, you think these guys are straight up Jamaicans. For example, Patoranking and Stonebwoy, which you mentioned. But yeah, and what she said at the end about it's not just like Black people, like loads of people, even like European dances. It's all about getting close and like body to body kind of movement. So
Sure.
yeah, she's right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try and pretend I know too much about Afrobeats and bashment, but yeah, she does make some good points.
I'm there with you, Jolie.
No,
I'm not even in the game anymore.
Yeah, but I mean,
This was an anecdote.
after she gave you that safari slap, and then just
Thanks, bro. Safari slap,
straight from Africa.
Trademark.
Clap. No, but
I can still see the outline on your face. Actually.
Got that Saruman hand on her face, like no. But anyways, no, I think she makes some good points. But when she's talking about what was her general point about the amalgamation of?
Well,
it's
you know what?
like-
I'll just kind of brush over a few things that she mentioned that
Yeah.
Stanley didn't pick up on. Just one thing she mentioned that yes, back in the day in Britain, you know, with the windrush
yeah.
culture,
Yeah,
Jamaicans
yeah.
were kind of here first.
Yeah.
So they were the predominantly black people. If
Yeah.
you were African and you were here, we were that second class citizens. I was bullied by Jamaicans a lot. Jamaican music was like the predominant black. If you were African, you can't speak proper English. There was a lot of aggression from Jamaicans to black Africans in culture, in music, in everything. So I can understand now. Funny enough, Afrobeats has taken over, where reggaeton and bashment and lovers rock were like prominent. Now Afrobeats has really climbed to the most popular kind of thing, even though it absorbed that. I think she was just making the point. Back then it wasn't popular. Now it is. People are conflating the kind of two. And I said this before, I'll say it again. I think a lot of the Jamaican music is a lot more aggressive, whether it's culturally or not. That was my experience. It was a lot more aggressive. Afrobeats seem to have taken the aggression out of it, and it's mostly the same music. Why I personally think it's superior. And that's what happens with a lot of music. They take things out. Ironically, we're going to get to another music question where they're talking about music in a critical way. And when it comes to the whining culture and all that stuff, it's that stuff too tied into harassing
your
women
eyes
now.
were rolling a lot.
I remember though in the because I'm from East Africa, I'm from Somalia originally, but in the 80s and 90s, reggae was the thing. It dominated. Yeah, it dominated, and it was so like ubiquitous in all like clubs, and then people were like trying to. It was a like culturally. People like this is it. That was a plateau. People wanted to be that and follow that. I remember, like
UB40 is it? Like
That's a good beat,
they were doing, and they stole from that. They just kind of just commercialized it, and then just said, hey, now they just play weddings now and shit. That type of stuff. Well, this is acceptable level of blackness, and, reggae that I can accept. But
that's the right.
no, but she's right. She's right. But Afrobeats now.
Yeah,
you're right. But I mean, is that a cause for celebration or concern from her? I mean, I'd say celebration. Like, they're both prominent in their own rights.
Music genre shifts.
Yeah.
We're just talking about popularity.
Yeah,
we're not talking about. It's like when someone says the new Ghostbusters is that the old one doesn't exist. It's not like we've eradicated the genre. It's just that right now Afrobeats has become very popular, and I'm seeing an element of it, which is the non-aggressive element, having the same better parts of it, which has made it excel, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So, is what it is. But as for that whole whining culture, all that shit, all that stuff, one thing she did mention, you see in a lot of other music, I mean, flip it now. If you see the music videos that they dance to right now, it doesn't matter if it's reggae. You can whine up, do all these mad dancing, sexy moves, It was more associated with Caribbean music back then. Now, twerking, all this shit, it all mixed in. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Well, man, see if you can dance or not, to be honest with you. So anyway, thank you. We signed off on that for nearly 20 minutes, believe it or not. The show hasn't even started, but hey guys, we love your voicemails, and we try to feed off what you said last time on the start of the next show. So go to vomp.site to send us a new voicemail, because there's a lot of trending stuff going on. In fact, we're going to go to one of our top voicemailers, T-Kun. She's actually got a trending story, which is ironically going to tie to something we spoke about on the Lost episode. Yes, the episode that went in the ether. Guess what? Something happened back then, happened again. And I don't think neither of you are going to be surprised. Let's have a listen.
Yeah.
Hi, Vom Crew. T-Kun here, and asking a question related to some incidents that happened with Scarlett Johansson and Ruby Rose, in the context that they weren't fitting roles because they weren't a specific either gender or sexuality, to the point where they've been keeping their distance with social media as a whole. I'm just wondering if this is like a common courtesy over on your side of the pond, or has there been other kind of news like this that's just been going way more out of control than usual? Hopefully this is a topical enough question for you.
Do you guys know about the Ruby Rose situation about women?
Yeah. So is this Scarlett Johansson one? You're talking
We'll
about where
get
she's
to that
gonna
in a
play
minute.
like a trans character.
Yes, that was basically...
And then she pulled out saying like,
Off the heels of that, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Ruby Rose Batwoman casting situation?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Let me play you a clip just so everyone gets a lowdown, and then we'll have the whole discussion. And Jodie, let's get back to that point you just made. Just hold on to that right now.
Okay, guys, so if you haven't already heard the news, Ruby Rose, who was recently cast to be Batwoman in the upcoming CW Arrow crossover, she's also going to be getting her own spin-off show. Ruby Rose was cast to play that character, to play Batwoman. And since then, Ruby Rose has just been getting harassed and criticized on Twitter so much, in fact, that she just left Twitter altogether. Now, this is not a new trend going on. This has been going on forever. We heard that the actress who played Rose in Star Wars The Last Jedi also left social media because people were backlashing against her. Leslie Jones from the Ghostbusters reboot was also racially harassed, and she left social media. So this is nothing new. Now, when I did my video on Ruby Rose, I said that I don't have a problem with her as an actress. I haven't really seen much of her as an actress, but I felt like they casted her just because she's gay and Batwoman is in fact gay. And I felt like they just kind of casted her because of her sexual preference and not on her acting ability. And I felt that maybe that role could go to someone else, and they shouldn't just cast people because of their sexual preference, that they should cast the best actress they can possibly cast. So that was my only criticism of Ruby Rose.
Yeah, so basically the conversation on a whole is this: people getting upset with casting when people are not fitting the puzzle piece exactly what they think in their mind should be, and people getting kicked off social media or leaving because of the backlash that's happening again and again and again and again. It seems that every year, every other movie, if you don't fit that piece, or you don't meet that, superhero criteria, we got to rebel and all that other stuff. We spoke about this in the last episode with the Star Wars. But now we get to talk about it again because it's just happened with this lady and Batwoman again. So I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on the situation. You actually spoke about the Scarlett Johansson situation, which you never spoke about. So we can pick up from there and then carry on from the conversation.
Yeah, no, but it was she had to pull out because obviously there was a backlash there. The trans community, they do have an activist kind of branch, and they were like, well, this isn't representing.
Do you think that was right?
It's complicated. I do, in theoretically, I think it is right, but it's also when people have to understand that how Hollywood works. It's when a business meets, art. Okay, they care about marketing. Scarlett Johansson is a face that you can market, and they're just saying, like, she can act it, who gives a shit, we want to make money, and that's it. They're not going to be like, I don't even know who's the most prominent trans actress, but I mean, if it's not going to be rolling off the tongue for most people, people are going to be like, well, what the fuck, what do I give a shit? This is just pure marketing from that, in that particular case there.
Sure.
So, I mean, but when you see there's other stories this has happened to. I mean,
well, let me just jump back on your Scarlett Johansson thing, because I want to. Scarlett Johansson, the thing with that case in particular, she just came off of the Ghost in the Shell controversy as well. Ghost in the Shell was an anime movie, which was a Japanese character. They casted her, and people was upset about that. Then this happened
she's like,
again.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So again, people, don't get me wrong, and it's like she was on a target already, so that was bad. Now, the Ghostbusters. That was, I don't know if that was different. People didn't like Ghostbusters being remade any as a woman franchise, rebooted as a woman franchise anyway. But then Leslie Jones, a black woman, it's kind of murky. But going to Star Wars, they didn't like her. I don't even know what their problem with her was. Well, why did they not like her again?
She's a really lame character. No screen presence. There was nothing convincing about her character. That being said, look, most of the people who are not happy about these things, I feel, are to an extent like prejudiced people. Sure. Right-wing people who don't like the idea.
Racist, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. People who don't like the idea of Hollywood pandering to, I'm doing quotation marks here, pandering to the left and bringing up the idea of diversity and trying to push diversity. And there are some people who are set in their ways and don't like it. And even if a character a movie star or an actor is good enough to do this role, and they've been asked to do this role, people are still going to give them crap for it. I don't agree with them, bowing out of like running away and shutting down Twitter and shutting down the Instagram. That's just you're letting the bullies win. Yeah. So I think people really need to take a look at themselves and you got to stand up to them But yeah, that's moving on to
But
something else anyway.
But if you see the reactions, right, of these guys, I mean, for example, whitewashing was fully accepted
For
only
years.
up until recently.
Yeah.
So when people start pointing out with like,
I think
let's,
Avatar, The Last Airbender, that movie.
that
Last
last Airbender,
Yeah.
You had what
Dragon
you call
Ball.
it, Gods of Egypt.
I was
Yeah,
going to mention
yeah.
that one.
Is that
Dragon
like-
Ball.
Yeah, Gods of Egypt. You had the it was Exodus, or was it?
Exodus,
where,
Gods and
like,
Monsters
I
or
was
something,
just like, what, Christian Bale
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Joel Edgerton or something like that. Two white dudes playing, Egyptians, and all the slaves were like all brown or black and things like that. I mean, whitewashing in that way has always been like always there, but people are starting to react to it. But then when you see the reaction to like Idris Elba being the James Bond,
Another good
Yeah,
example.
that would be that.
I
that
mean,
was
when
a-
you see
go
people
up there.
and you're just like, holy shit, you thought someone he actually killed James Bond or something like that, The way people
Murdered James Bond.
just like, it's just like, oh, that black guy, he's playing, they were calling him too street and, too thuggish and things like that.
Yeah, the producer. I
kinda
think one of the
using,
producers said that.
these, these other type of, terms, to obviously not getting to the heart of it. It's just like, we just
Yeah.
don't want a black dude and things like that. This is getting too progressive. But if it happens the reverse, people are just like, oh yeah, well,
well,
we're still gonna do it.
I love this because this is covering the whole gamut. Because let's talk about this Batwoman situation. This is a bit different.
Yeah, so just can you clear that up for me? Let me
Yeah.
get this straight. So she is gay,
Yes.
and people are backlashing because she's gay, and Batwoman is gay as well.
I'll clear this up for you. No,
Oh.
this is even more specific.
Right.
Batwoman
Uh-huh.
in the comics is a gay Jewish woman, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The woman playing her, they've just cast to play her. She says she was gay, but then she says she's, I don't know the term for this, that she's not bisexual, but she's open to love anyone, and she's not Jewish. So people was like, she's not even really gay. She's just fake gay, and she's not Jewish either. This is heresy. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that's just ridiculous.
So
Yeah.
you got the super fans.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good enough. So now it's gotten out of hand because first you had the racists, then you had the prejudiced, or same thing or whatever. Then you had it's hit every single. Now we've just got people being so picky, and now I think it's got to the point where people are just saying, "Look, man, now." Actually, funny enough, another good example. This week, two things happened at the same time. Disney just announced their first gay character
Was that Jack Whitehall one?
in the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
openly gay character.
No
The actor
way.
is not gay.
Yeah, he's a straight. he's a straight white male privileged comedian. As that's how he's been.
He is
portrayed
You
as.
And
just,
Yeah.
the internet are going crazy for it. So again, you see how it's hitting every. I don't know, and I'm starting to agree more with the argument. You got to get the best person for the actor. You weren't in the cast, you never saw what they did. Because at the end of the day, if we flip the coin and you start hiring people just because they fit the perfect match,
Guess what's gonna happen?
It's like a checkbox. Looks the same, is gay, is Jewish. You're hired. What is that? Where's the performance? I mean.
And then when the film like bombs, they'll be like, "Oh, I wonder why that happened." Like maybe because the actor wasn't good.
But they checked all the boxes though.
It's crazy, like you said. You've got on one side, you've got the people who are like right wing and racist, prejudiced, etc., and then you've got the
picky
social justice
assholes who
warriors.
want it to fit the box.
Like, no, you got to get someone who's Jewish, someone who's is precisely 6 foot, someone who's precisely a vegetarian, gay. Like what?
They're both saying that's
Yeah.
not my superhero. That's not mine for this reason. That's not mine for that reason. But no one knows who's. It's crazy. This
I
shit
know.
is just a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I know. Because if it was like 10 years ago, Ray Charles, who did it? Jamie Foxx. And they're
Yeah.
like, no,
He's not blind.
no,
He's not blind.
I only want Ray Charles to play Ray Charles. Otherwise, it's not real.
Wow.
I mean,
That type of. I mean, that's one side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, I mean, there's what can you do to satisfy these super fans to that extent? So you have to have some balance.
Are you
there.
meant to satisfy? Can we agree? Should it just be based on the talent? Do you think there's a middle ground? Do you think that they should try to tick the boxes and get the talent, or should they just go with the talent? Because I actually think they are, especially with the Batwoman. I think they tried to go halfway. Yeah, because people like the look of her.
I don't
think she
think the
looks
Batwoman thing is a big deal at all for me.
Yeah.
In this particular context,
maybe
for
because
me,
you don't
this-
care about the character.
Don't
You're
care.
a casual.
You would be
You
100%
wouldn't care.
right. Could
Little
not
bit
give a
casual.
shit about Batwoman right now. But
I bet if it was Batman, you would care.
yeah, because his story is actually interesting. You know.
I bet you love Ben Affleck, then don't you? Or do you hate him? You can't win. He's rubbish. He's great.
All right.
Oh, you starting to sound annoying now.
Yeah, I know.
That's how they sound.
But no, you're right. But I mean, like, yeah. I lost my point, but I think
I asked, do you think it's best if they try to please both, kind of meet the middle ground, or do you think they should just talentless? Just opinion. That's what
no, I mean, unless it's, as I said, unless it's something blindingly obvious. You know, if they were gonna do a remake of Gandhi, and then some guy called Chuck is gonna play him, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, man, this isn't
Well,
this isn't right. But I mean, if it's a case of like in this, you know, a Jewish gay superhero,
yeah.
then I think you're just kind of like splitting hairs now. you
yeah,
know?
exactly. There's scope for sort of ticking the boxes as well as, you know, just getting the right person.
Yeah.
If it's based on a actual real person, like a figure in history like Gandhi, for example, then get someone who is going to fit the bill. Obviously, they've got to be a good actor as well. If it's a freaking fictional character like Batwoman or Superman or whoever it is, then you got to let the creators like take it where they want to do. You've got to give them the creative freedom. It might backfire and it might not look good, but at the end of the day, you can't give the actor or the actress in question like hell for it. It's the creators you need to go to that for.
Should we just wait and see
They
the
should-
performance and just see what
No,
happens?
yeah, I'd say that, yeah. But I agree with what you said before, Stan. Like the people who are, they should stop pussying out, and then they're saying,
Yeah.
I can't take this. I'm going to switch it off, and they just hold this. I hate the whole victim mentality that they just say like, I can't take this anymore. I get it in one way when they're just saying, oh, you know, this is all negative. Why am I even on here?
That's a good point, actually.
I
I
would
like
say,
that point.
I would say fine, that's
Yeah.
fine there.
For
But I
your
mean,
chakras.
if you're looking at the bigger picture, you could just ignore that shit. I mean, you know, you're happy when you're getting all the praise and likes. You know, be aware that you could fall off that fucking perch
Yeah.
anytime. So I would take that shit. I would probably say I'm standing my ground. I don't give a fuck about you guys, and then it will go away.
I think this is becoming part of our culture with all the horrible
Complaining,
craziness
yeah.
coming on social media, people losing their jobs, people being harassed. I actually think this is very, I don't even know what to say, kumbaya or whatever. I think this is the growing pains of the social media age we're in now, because there has to be a point 20 years from now where we're just used to it. I mean, I'm hearing stuff like in contracts, they're actually teaching you at, at actors agencies that if you have a social media account, delete what you did 10 years before. All right. We don't see that. Prepare for trolls. Like this is, we take this into account because this is such a big thing in society now. They take the whole social media. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes its own entity. I mean, I'm sure it is. That's part of your PR and your agency to actually handle this. But to this extent with the harassment and the firing, and it really just shows the culture.
But this is a bigger point, right? You know, this is like like when you see newspapers like the Metro, things like that, and people have the comment section, page 38, and they say they comment about some cat that keeps on running in their house, and no one gives a shit. No one listens to it. You read it and you move on. But now these comments are everywhere, and people are actually listening to these mad, crazy people. That your opinion means nothing. You know,
you know what?
And I'm just like, oh well, we got to listen to that lady about,
I agree with you, but I will say this, and I'll wrap because we spent too long on this one. But I will say this in finality. I read something about this, and this is such a bad example. Kerry Hilson was a singer that
she's so hot. Yeah,
she had 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
and apparently she destroyed her career when I think she wrote a song. She was meant to be on the remix for Usher, and then they replaced her with Beyonce. She got upset and then said something, Beyonce stole my song. And from that day to this day, for nearly 7 to 8 years, she gets nothing but berated by tweets, negative tweets. I think she even went on YouTube or something and showed that every minute, every hour, she can't even get through the good. It's just a constant barrage for years. I'm sorry, no matter what she says, it doesn't matter. So I understand. I do agree you got to change, you got to be on social media or ignore it. But I know that
that's
when
a difficult situation.
When people get a bone, if people are really out for you, and if you like social media, and they've just destroyed it for you, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, but when's the last song she came out with? You know?
That's why I didn't want to bring him up.
That's
It's
it.
why I
I
didn't
mean,
wanna
these
use
it as
comments
example.
ain't stopping me making a song.
It's not going to stop. That's exactly true. And if
Yeah.
you brought out a song and it was really good, then hey,
Yeah, then you can be like, fuck you guys. And
It
then,
sounds
then
like
she
you-
have fans and things like that,
it sounds like
But
she's
if
just
it's
given
stopping
up.
you from using social media, it's fucked up.
Come
Or
on,
you
man.
have to go, hey, I'm
Look-
playing devil's advocate.
I
I
mean-
that's all. Yeah.
Look at people. There are people. You know those unpopular like people like what's his British journalist?
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah.
His Twitter feed must be like 95% vitriol.
Oh my
like people
God.
just attacking him. So if he could, you just
You know,
it's
there's an
about, you
African
need a bit of
saying,
thick skin.
Stanley, to your answer. Some people are built for this.
I guess so. I guess so.
He's built for this, though. Okay, built for this.
That's a
Right? So he's not a
questionable
good
accent.
example. Questionable accent.
Oh, man.
I'm African.
I know. That's why I think it should be better than that. Man.
Let's move on, man. Let's move on because you know we're going to bring
Cool.
this story up again when
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
another
it's gonna
casting
come up.
call, and
It's
you know
gonna
it's
come
going to be worse.
Next
you know.
time it'll be a sports star.
Yeah.
Oh boy! So we got a lot of gamut of voicemails. In fact, we got a voicemail for a member of a team. Yes, the Catface Killer's got a message for us.
Oh, wow,
Because,
okay.
you know, he's always getting shit for being the serious one. We're always having fun on the show without him.
Yeah.
But then he called in with a serious question. So what can I do?
It's just meant to be.
All right.
It's just meant to be Catface. He brings up a good point, and again, we've got a lot to say about this one. So let's move on with the show.
Okay.
Hey, Vault Crew. It's the Catface Killer here, Jeffrey. I'm going to laugh if we actually end up answering this question next time I'm recording, but as a follow-up to our whole privacy thing, with Facebook and everything, turns out that Google maybe is even worse than Facebook ever could be. I don't know, but I mean, I've came across a couple disturbing articles. I sent you one of the links that illustrates how much more Google is keeping track of what we're doing and our information and what it's sending out, including apparently following your movements on GPS, regardless if you have the setting turned on or off on your phone, and still tracking it and sending it to whoever is interested in that, nefarious or not. I was a little curious because what little I read seemed very intense. It seemed like a lot of data was being tracked, and I was curious to ask Don, because he's the much more IT literate of all of us, how plausible and accurate this was. So let me know, and as always, keep up the good work. Go get them.
Thanks for that one, Catface. You know what? In a way, some people think it's a bit of a non-story. Oh, Facebook and Google are tracking you. Whoop-de-doo. We all know that. When you Google this, it is a bit more... To be honest with you, I did a bit of research on this. So basically, what's happened is Facebook, they've done this for like 5 years. They allow you can request from Facebook to give you everything they have on you. And they will send you a file with everything they've collected on you, data. They've done this since 2015, right? So I think a few people did this and they posted it online, and the file sizes come up to be something like 500 megabytes, a gig, whatever. Google have done the same thing now. Turns out sometimes they can have files up to like 5 gigabytes worth of information on you. So let me play this clip, actually, because I pretty much just said what the clip's going to say anyway, but then I'll follow up from it. And then it's not going to be the longest conversation because there's this... my thoughts on it are still similar to what it was before I knew this. I actually like the fact they're open and let you request your data. But anyway, let's play this clip and then we'll go into it.
With all the attention being paid to Facebook in recent weeks over the data breaches and over privacy violations, you have to wonder, what do some of these other big companies have? You're talking like the other big tech companies, the big four out there, Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, all central players in this surveillance state. And a lot of people shocked or taken back by seeing just how much data Facebook was storing on them. Well, now there's a way to know exactly how much data and what Google is storing on you. There is a Google data file, which is offered by the company in a hub called My Account. Now, this was all created in 2015, along with a tool called My Activity. The report issued is similar to the one Facebook delivers to its users upon request. Whether or not these reports are comprehensive is still up in the air. But they're saying that just this one individual, Dylan Curran, that downloaded his, he said that it was 5.5 GB worth of data, which is almost 10 times larger than the one Facebook had on him. So, to obtain this, you can follow the simple steps. You guys can see what all they have on you, and you don't have to wonder any longer. You can know. And then make your choices from there. But I wanted to get this info out there and let it be known. These are the steps you can take to figure out exactly what they're holding on you.
And what they are going to do with it.
Did you add that effect?
I did. I was gonna say. Ended it like a rant.
It was a bit too serious. I had to line up a little bit. So, what do you guys think? 'Cause Google got a 5 gigabyte data on you, knowing everything you did. You ate, you traveled, you slept, everything. How do you feel about that?
I've kind of just resigned myself, you know. I'm kind of, honestly speaking, like
I'm there with you, bro.
when I hear about these, you know, Google, Facebook, etc., have this much data on you, like, then everything about you, I'm just like, man, that sounds really bad. But you know, I don't really. You can just kind of keep it.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're all fucked. In the future, yeah, give it a couple of generations, they're gonna put some chips.
I've got some
in
really
our head,
and then the people who
are gonna scan us
are being mindful of where their data, what's happening with their data. They're gonna be like, "Ha, told you."
Well, there's a big. I don't want to spend too long on this because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I've said this so many times.
Yeah, you are.
As a tech guy, no. Screw you. As a tech guy, I know that people sign away a lot of their freedoms, a lot of their datas, when they sign a contract, when you sign up to the websites. You know, you give it away free without knowing. The difference is, and I actually did look this up because I was interested, Facebook and Google have so much more data on you is because they have multiple services. They've got the maps, they've got YouTube, they've got 20 different services that everyone keeps using, Google Documents, and that's what the whole thing is. It's about 10 different services. Facebook is only one service or two, Messenger and the Facebook. But the difference is, and it's been proven, Facebook notoriously sell your data more than Google. They literally advertise to you on the site in between every post. Yeah. They have been notorious at selling your information. Their whole ad economy system is completely horrendous. With Instagram as well, it's even worse. Google, they have an AdSense system on the side. Don't get me wrong. But most of their data is kept in between each other apps. So if you download it all, your spreadsheets, your maps and your YouTube videos and all of that, yes, it can be very, very... It's more logical, but just in terms, if you wanted to know my technical opinion on how negative, Facebook is still more notorious than Google. They're in the news all the time. You heard about this analytics situation anyway, so it should be clear. But at the end of the day, I'm with both of you. We're fucked anyway. You give your information, you can't hide. You can go and live on the beach. They can still track you. If you're born into this world at this time, you're born into a matrix. That's not a matrix. Technology is just crazy. Now, in saying that, I am not saying resign to your fate. You're fucked and that's it. I'm not saying that. It's good to be aware, but it's like that. I released a clip on Instagram.
That's it. Yeah, just live up in a forest, you know, on top of a mountain, in a cabin.
I'm being too serious. No, I can already tell. Jody's lined up. I said this on my clip on Instagram. Okay. Yeah. I have a Google Home. It's listening all the time, right? But I'm not worried because I don't really do shit that makes me paranoid. I think the people who are paranoid are just inherently paranoid mentally, or they're doing some dubious shit. I don't care because I don't do anything to warrant me worrying, and my life ain't that fucking interesting. So that's why I don't really care. It's that simple.
Yeah, no, because at this moment, I mean, we don't know yet, but I mean, it's obviously people aren't doing it for nefarious reasons. It's just all commercialism. It's just all about, you know, making money, ridiculous amounts. But it's just now the capabilities of what people can do with this information, and information is power. And then with that, I mean, it's just that's when I say, we're all fucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to wrap this up, Stanley, so we can move on?
Yeah, I mean,
keep things light.
You really do. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out, because I've always said it, like Google, they are the biggest really out of we talk about a big four, which was mentioned on the video,
Yeah.
on the clip.
Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. They're really
but
big.
obviously, I think Google probably dwarfs them in
100%.
certain regards. So I think something will come out in the future, something that they've been doing that's really super shady. I'm probably sounding like a conspiracy theorist now, but I think that's going to be the case.
Would you guys? I don't think you guys are interested. Ask you anyway. Would you guys bother download the file to see how much they got on you? Would you? Are you interested to download that file?
I'll be interested to see what Facebook has on me, simply because of all the crazy stuff, the shenanigans they get up to. But Google is just kind of, everything you do goes through Google now.
Yeah, Google will be like, wow, you really like Sky Sports and MILF porn, you know? That's what they would say.
What a combination.
There's like reams of this, like 3.5. What? How much do you like Lisa Ann? I was like, she's cool. She's good. She's good at what she does. So I gotta respect her.
I said this to my friend today. If you know, in this day and age, if you know the name of a porn star, you've got a problem.
No. If you know the whole cast, then that's the problem. That's
cast.
That's
There's
the
a
level.
cast.
That's just like,
Wow.
when it starts saying, "Man, I love this director's work." I know that location. Beautiful location.
No more Rocco. No more
man.
Lexington. No more.
Okay,
Man,
you guys are just going into
James
different
Dean-
realms
James
now.
Dean.
My
You know what?
innocent
I'm
mind.
a diverge completely. Did you guys see that Kanye West clip on Jimmy Fallon? Jimmy Fallon, the serious one.
Did he do an interview recently?
Yeah, he did an interview.
Oh, the George Bush thing.
What?
No, he was on. Was it Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon. He's
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
comical, not the silly one, the big eyes, the other one. That's Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Fallon's the one that won't stop fucking laughing all the time in the interview. That one.
Oh no, I don't like
I've
him.
seen memes
No,
about
it's
that.
Not
other
the one,
one.
the other one.
Yeah, the
can't
other one.
remember.
Yeah, the one
Jimmy-
that cries a lot when he
Yes.
says things and stuff. Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah.
he talks really serious.
He's also
right?
in
Yes.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Kimmel.
yeah.
Jimmy
Kimmel,
Kimmel.
that's
Kimmel,
it.
there he is.
Yeah, that's
Kanye
it.
West was on Jimmy Kimmel.
That's it.
And this shit was a weird. It's not part of our segment, guys. It's just this came out of nowhere since we brought up porn. I want to bring up. This is a point. So Jimmy Kimmel was talking to Kanye West,
Oh yeah.
and then I think he said something like, "Oh, were you worried about Trump? Were you worried about Kim Kardashian seeing Trump?" And he's like, "Oh, Trump's a player." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And then I think he asked him about porn, what kind of porn you like, and then Kanye West is like, "Oh," he said, "Do you still appreciate women?" He comes to, "Yeah, I still go to Pornhub." He's like, "Yeah, porn."
Kanye said that.
Yeah, you have to go to Pornhub, and it's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, yeah, my favorite porn, black and white. Obviously,
Man, why does he always got
which
to be
way?
a troll?
I like blacks.com.
For real.
He said all this, man.
People was like,
Man, he's just
he
crazy.
started, and then he tried to change the subject, and he brought it back to porn as well. And it was like, and everyone's like, "You're with Kim Kardashian, and you're still on blacked.com. You're still on Pornhub."
I think her video is number one, actually, to be fair.
Wow, Johnny brought it full
I'm
circle.
not even lying.
Oh, man.
She's in like the
No,
top
but
10.
she's,
Like,
isn't she notorious for apparently not being very active in the
I
sack?
don't know, man. She did a good job with Ray J, man. I remember that, in that video.
I haven't seen it, but
No, I did. It was okay,
I
but
heard things.
And
Nah,
at this
yeah,
time, I'm moving on to our next topic. That was a great diversion. I was
Kanye
actually
West is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of. I'm not even gonna watch that. It's too. It's just cringe.
that interview was
that was a
pretty.
mini
He's
rant.
not a people person.
I think Kanye is like a magician
He's unhinged.
on himself. He's like he's elevated himself. He's cast a spell on his own mind. It's gone. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next topic.
man.
So last weekend, at the time of this recording, I think that was the 10th or something. Last weekend, there was this massive security breach in America. Guy stole a plane. Craziness ensued. The guy's being seen as like a hero, a legend, as he did all these tricks and all that other stuff. Did you hear about this person? If you're listening to this right now, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me play the clip. And if you didn't hear about this, this is kind of crazy. Kind of cool, kind of crazy, kind of sad.
This morning, authorities still wondering how this turboprop twin-engine plane was stolen from Seattle's International Airport.
What the is he doing over here?
Flown for over an hour in some daring feats. Scrambling fighter jets in response before going down in a fiery crash.
All right. Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
What the hell?
Government officials familiar with the investigation say the man piloting the plane was 29-year-old Richard Russell, a ground service agent for Horizon Air.
I lift a lot of bags.
Russell posting video from the job on YouTube. A lighthearted approach to his routine in rainy days.
Ooh, a purple one.
But also the joys of travel. Excitement he may have tried to recreate from the cockpit with his own untrained hands at the controls.
I'm going to land it, in a safe kind of manner.
But the end of his ride clearly on his mind.
I'm going to try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, now I'm just going to nose down and call it a night.
His brazen one-way trip exposing serious flaws in airport security, forcing the CEO of Alaska Air, the parent company, to acknowledge that the current system is based on trust.
The doors to the airplanes are not keyed like a car. There's not an ignition key like there would be in a car. The mindset is we have employees that are credentialed and authorized to be there to operate.
Russell's family mourning their loss.
He was a faithful husband, a loving son, and a good friend. This is a complete shock to us. We are devastated by these events.
You know, in some ways, investigators as well as the family are asking the same question, and that's about Richard Russell's mental state. What was going on inside his mind? Why he decided to end his seemingly full and happy life this way?
The internet is seeing this guy as both a disturbed person, but also a kind of crazy hero because he did all these crazy stunts. He had no professional training. One of the clips they didn't mention is that after he stole the plane, the air traffic controller asked him, "How the hell did you know how to fly a plane?" He's like, video games. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
He said you learned all from video games. Air flight simulator. I don't know, man. This is a sad, but he did a barrel roll. As ironic as the barrel roll meme, the Starfox game, do a barrel roll. He did it. He did an air. It's all on YouTube. He did all those stunts, but he couldn't land the plane or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if he went out in a literal blaze of glory. Or I don't know, man. It's sad, but he pulled off them crazy stunts that they were saying that, you know what, even certified pilots can't do. Or maybe they shouldn't, but I don't know.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I think that's the overriding thing for me. I don't know if, to call him a potential hero, it seems a bit disingenuous. I mean, it seems like he was a disturbed person for me personally. I won't be surprised if they find like a sort of suicide notes or weird stuff that he's been sort of compiling personally. He did videos, for example.
Yeah, this usually sounds very positive though. He had a very positive
outlook.
outlook.
That's why it's super confusing. Like, I'm super confused just from the whole thing. I think it's quite weird that he'd suddenly, all of a sudden, hijack and that's basically what it is. You know, you can't call it anything else. He's basically jacked a plane and tried to do some stunts for some reason.
He
like,
didn't
is he
try.
trying to impress?
He did them.
Okay, but is he trying to impress someone or like?
He was married, already had kids. I mean,
what's the point?
I don't know. It's not even like if it was like this mad YouTube stunt, it would be all over. YouTuber, tries to get fame by stealing plane, and
maybe that's what he was trying to do.
But he didn't. He didn't shout out, "Go to my YouTube channel, and live stream it," or anything like that. He really. I'm not
out like World Star.
Exactly. I'm not trying to glorify this guy at all. I think it's sad, and obviously you can tell that a lot of people are losing. They're very upset that this could have been a terrorist. When they're saying that anyone just had credentials, no key lock. This is preposterous. This could have been another catastrophe. I guess it could have been.
Yeah, but if he landed, he would have been a legend at the pub.
That's true. Yeah,
that would have been
like
if
he wouldn't even need to do. He wouldn't even need to do like World Star or shout out his YouTube page. Like,
no, he'll be this guy.
He'd be in the news and people would find him.
Book deal. The guy. They'll make a film about it.
Oh man, I'd be high fiving this guy if he landed it. But there's a huge level of straight up crazy to do that.
Do you know how many people have actually successfully stolen the airplane without the 9/11 hijacking? Let's not put that in there. But I mean, an American that's stolen the airplane got on away.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like some average guy just taking a stroll in the airport and then like someone left some keys in the plane or something like that.
True.
It was a guy that actually worked there.
He wasn't inside. Yep.
So I don't think this would be pretty harsh to blame this airline. Sorry.
Sure.
Because I think this would be quite the same in every other airline. They don't expect some baggage handler to be like, oh my god, someone's left the door open. sliding there, you know, and
Joyride.
Yeah, just joyriding, like doing some Kiki type videos and things like that. But no, he just jumped in there. He was obviously straight up crazy. No one expected this. Why would you expect this? You know, unless I don't know, they're expecting like someone to be like going all Homeland and like some dude is just gonna be like some secret agent working as a baggage handler for 3 years. And then he's like, you know, now I must complete my mission, and then just hop in the plane. Maybe, I don't know, but life isn't like the movies, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
I guess I was just more surprised that I always hit about airline security and they go for extra measures. And you would think after everything that's happened, you know, I know that it's an inside job, so it's different. It's a whole new level, you know, even though the guy was just a baggage claimer or whatever. But hey, man, I don't know. Rest in peace. You know, but he will be remembered for what he did, which again, he didn't hurt anybody. He only hurt himself, and he did perform some feats, stolen plays in the record books for better or worse. You know,
what I found, you know, pretty jarring was the way he was just so flippant. The way he was talking to the guy.
Yeah,
He goes,
that's
hey,
why I
pilot
think
guy,
it's
do you
so
think
odd.
that this kid, I could do a...
You didn't hear the
backflip?
whole thing. You think that's flippant. When he was talking about the video game, he was like, yeah, he was kind of like, yeah, you know, it's kind of cool up here. It's kind of, and they're like, sir, can you know, they were persuading him like it was a hostage situation. Like, yeah, it's good. And they had the fight edges. Obviously, they were going to shoot him down if he was going to get into some
to populated areas. Yeah.
Exactly. So they were watching him, but they were like, that would have been an absolute disaster if they had to kill him, and that would have been.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's I know it. I'm not going to take this away. You're right. There is a certain level of awe of someone not giving a fuck to that level.
I was seeing
but,
that.
you know, to be that, you know, kind of unhinged to say like I don't give a fuck. Having said that, there's consequences to not giving a fuck, and this is what happened. So
if he did land, he would have been a superstar.
He would
have
have
gone to
been.
prison.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah. But you know,
for probably a long time. I would have thought they would have harshed on him.
His cellmates would be high fiving, and they were like, "Fuck,
Yeah, this guy would have been a legend. He
You
would have
know?
been set for life.
Yeah.
Telling you, the book deals, there would have been a movie about this guy.
They would have started calling him Starfox. You're the barrel,
dude.
dude.
Starfox, yeah.
Oh man, I love that game. Shit.
I told you why, you know. My nephew's trying to play it right now. The SNES Mini, which I love, by the way, especially when you hack it and put all those games in there. Anyway, you know what? For a change, I'm gonna bring our stupid trivial question right up to right now.
Oh, early. Okay.
Yeah, early. And I actually, full disclosure, I gave these guys a bit of time to think about it. So why don't you guys hear it and let's see what these guys came up with. And actually, I have a hilarious story about my girlfriend related to this.
Oh yeah.
I have to put her on blast.
Okay.
All right, so hear the question and you're going to hear this
this.
story.
Yeah.
You are in a terrible accident and lose your face. God says you cannot have a new face and only wear a mask for the rest of your life. What mask do you wear on your face for the rest of your life?
You hear that, Joey? Your face.
Yeah, no, he sounded like some.
Why does it say face?
Sound like some sort of Cab Stephen Hawkins voice like that.
Cab
Your
Stephen
face. Yeah, no, I don't know. So yeah, no, I did hear that.
All right, you want to go first, Stanley? Let Stanley go first.
All right.
Yeah, sure. I happen to really like my face, so I would have to go with.
Don't say a mask your face, Stanley. That's cheating.
No. I'm not going to say mask my face. I'm going to go with a celebrity who, not too long ago, in recent years, especially when I was younger, people used to say, I look like this celebrity.
Tyson.
Oh man, no, not Tyson.
He was like, how do I take that?
So yeah, apparently people used to say I look like a much more handsome version of Jason Derulo. So I'll probably just have to cut my losses. And
Who's that?
God. So modest. Yeah.
Remind me who that is, just for the audience as well.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, the guy who keeps on
pop star.
reminding us of his own name over and over again. You know,
Yeah, he's kind of gone quiet as it is with music. So,
yeah, he's terrible.
Damon Single, I'm still not remembering him.
What you say? What you say?
Oh my God, really? Really?
No,
What?
but look, you should see the disdain.
What you say? Oh
his
my
face.
God, I hate that song.
Look at him, like, okay. So you had all day, and you came up with Jason Derulo.
What you say?
I expected this disappointment, but that's what I came up with. You know,
I hate that song more than the guy. But anyway, Jody, give up.
I'm gonna go left field a bit, and I was gonna say Prince William. I'm always intrigued about.
You know, if we saw your skin color with that mask face, it's like a terrorist.
I know it would be. Was that Tyler the Creator that scary video he did? No, but it would. What was I gonna say? I just want to experience
life as a
that level of privilege
Mm.
that he gets. Like since he was a baby, you know, you have people serving him, people like, you know, the whole world is saying, "Oh, thank you for coming." Yeah, even like Commonwealth countries, he's doing that little dance and that, you know, with like, you know, in a tribe or something like that, you know, of a country that they kind of destroyed years ago. You know, and I was just like, even these guys, you know, they're so nice to me. That level of like, holy shit, man, I'm just on fire all the time. Like, you know, this is not letting up. That I mean, that would be intriguing. You know, just to be on fire for the whole life since you were like a baby to like forever.
I guess you guys kind of misconstrued the question a little bit. Let me clear this up for you. I guess you guys are thinking of like this is Mission Impossible. It's like,
I'm thinking like Face Off. Mission Impossible.
No, I'm talking about Halloween mask, like something that is blatantly not your face. But let me no. Keep your answers. 'Cause I gotta tell you the story.
As in a literal mask.
Yeah, as in a literal
eyes
mask.
wide
Prince
shut.
William could be a Halloween mask.
Yeah, it could be actually. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I like your answers, but don't worry, I got a story because full disclosure.
All right, you go for your one.
My girlfriend brought this question in,
right? Okay.
Because I think we saw this question online. She wanted to bring it in. I don't mind anyone bringing questions in, so you know, out of curiosity, I asked her, "Okay, so what mask would you bring?" And I got to say, our relationship really ended. As soon as she knows, so she can listen to this and she can laugh. I'm sure she's laughing while she's hearing this.
Yeah.
When she told me what she said, the mask, I said, in all seriousness, you would wear that mask for the rest of your life. She looked to me and said, yes. And I really had to question my own tastes, my own, like, what is wrong with me as a person? She said that she would wear a Grim Reaper mask for the rest of her life.
Well, to be fair, she would get funny reactions.
I'm trying to.
And that's it.
I'm trying to be respectful to your partner.
You don't have to say anything. That's why I dug the hole, you know, and then...
That's funny, though.
It's funny.
It's funny.
And then obviously so I could scare people, and I was like, yeah, but forever. I mean, for every situation, you're at work. And I said, all right, maybe, you know that, what do they call that screen mask, the one that's bendy? That, the one in the movie Scream.
Yeah.
I forgot that mask has an actual name.
Based on the art. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Scream, yeah.
But she was like, nah, not that one. That's kind of cute. I want a Grim Reaper. Like
does she just mean like a big hood?
Well, a skull, a bone head, a skull.
Oh, okay. I was going to say like a big head, because, you know, Grim Reaper, you don't see his face. Just put a mask on. Sorry, a hoodie on. Carry around a scythe. And then just stand, you know, around, I don't know, old people homes.
So anyway, let's get to my choice.
Old people.
Because I am funny, and I said the poop emoji.
The what emoji?
The poop emoji.
No. Are we talking for the rest of our lives?
Yeah.
And you pick the poop emoji.
So you're happy to be called shithead?
Shit-faced.
For the rest of
I'm
your
the
life.
shit-faced all the time.
So you would wear it for the sake of a pun? Right, is that?
I guess. Because any other human, I don't want to wear any other human mask. Like, you know, when you watch these movies where people are getting high, so wear president's mask. I don't want to be anybody else. I would pick an emoji. I'll tell you that much. Now, there's something about the shit, because the shit one's got a smile on it. That's what I like about it. The shit emoji's got this smile on it. And whenever I'm working, I want someone to start. If I'm on the computer right now and you saw that face and I was like, now, how would you feel?
I'd feel lower.
Every moment, I look at you and you just see a shit smile on my face.
Right, so I would say
so random.
If you guys were walking hand in hand, that would definitely be a conversation I'd have with people. Is that a shit emoji with the Grim Reaper going to a Valentine's restaurant or something? Like, yeah. All right, yeah, no. Yeah, that.
Guys, this is your chance to send the voice into vomp.site and let us know if you had to wear a mask on your face for the rest of your life and look as perplexed as my co-host do right now. I mean, Jody looks like he's staring into the abyss, questioning his destiny right now.
I'm questioning this whole segment.
Questioning him being on this podcast, his life choices.
You know what? I'm just imagining how that conversation came up, man. It must be so... And also the way you looked at her as well. That was precious. Yeah. You were like, what?
If you had to pick between the Grim Reaper mask and the shit emoji face, which are you picking, Jody?
Of course, the shit
There
emoji
you go.
mask.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer.
Exactly.
You
I
know?
make good choices in life.
If it was the Grim Reaper mask, you know, all my old relatives wouldn't want to hang out with me. Horrible reminder.
I think disrespectful is an understatement.
Yeah,
to
horrible
that point, yeah.
reminder of, you know, impending things to come.
So guess what, guys? We're moving on to the technology section, one of my favorite sections. And guess what? There was a piece of technology news that is changing the world. People are very excited about this. I want to know what you guys think specifically. You ready for this?
Ready?
Life-changing, world-changing event. We are in the future. It's official.
U.S. Vice President Pence gave details to the Department of Defense about a new U.S. branch of the military called Space Force by 2020. You may have heard of it before. Now we have more details. The branch would help protect freedom, private property, and the rule of law in space. This would be the first new U.S. military branch since 1947, so that's significant. A DoD report says the project will need to create a U.S. Space Command, create a new U.S. Space Operations Force, set up a space development agency to develop technologies for the Space Force, and create a new cabinet position for civilian oversight called the Assistant Secretary of Defense of Space.
I mean, first of all, this is a brilliant propaganda campaign because
I mean, how is this not like a movie plot?
All of these terms sound amazing. Like, I want to be the Assistant Secretary of Defense of Space.
Space Force, guys, is here. And you will be really, well, maybe you won't be. This story is blowing up. And I'm going to let you guys wonder why. But first of all, what do you think of Space Force?
You know, it's like as if a bunch of 8-year-olds just got together and they said, "What game? what game do you want to play?" He goes, "Oh my gosh, let's play Space Force." And I was like, "Cool,
Like, yay!
You're the space defense minister, and I'm gonna be the alien." Pew 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 pew. That's what it honestly sounds like.
That's what it basically is. This is the future. This is the first. I mean, you talk about Star Trek, and do you ever watch the anime called Gundam? Stanley, you watch Gundam? Gundam
I
series?
did, yeah, back on T-Line when it was on T-Line, yeah.
You heard about colonies and space forces and federations. This
All
is the
those
beginning.
things,
This
yeah.
is going to be the first one.
So this is Trump's first steps to becoming Emperor Palpatine then.
You can see that. I mean, I never said that, but some foresight there.
I
some
said that, yeah.
Foreshadowing. I'm claiming that. Okay. So
yeah.
this has actually become a massive world news story. I was surprised. I was like, oh, Space Force. This is blown the fuck up. And I'm going to play a 5-minute clip. And this is from the man himself, the internet's favorite scientist. You know what I'm talking about, Stanley? The internet's favorite. Who's the internet's favorite scientist?
Isn't it the one that passed away?
No.
Neil.
Second. All right, second.
Oh, Neil deGrasse. Oh, okay.
You had the right answer.
He's unpopular in some
You
circles.
are the right. He is very important. And actually, you had the right answer, though. You had the right
What's the
answer.
show called? Star Search? I don't know. Was it
Correct.
Yeah, great show.
You guys know this. You guys follow this guy.
I love him.
I know about
love
Neil
the
deGrasse
guy.
Tyson, yeah.
So his reaction on Twitter apparently wasn't great. So they interviewed him like, Space Force, why aren't you excited about it? You love space, you love science, all that. He had this little interview, and I really want you guys' thoughts on what he has to say, because again, you're gonna really realize why this is blown up as a world story now.
I've thought a lot about it, but I don't have a strong opinion. The idea of a space force is not fundamentally odd when you consider that the Army, 70 years ago, birthed the Air Force. There was the Army Air Force, and once we realized that technology and warfighting capabilities evolve,
and was going to take place up in the
in the airspace rather than the ground space, then it was sensible to suggest that perhaps this should be an entire branch of the military unto itself. So today, all space capabilities of the military are handled by the Air Force. That was the natural extension of what the Air Force people did. And it's huge. Air Force controls the GPS.
Right. Most people don't realize that GPS, which is really now basically the underpinnings of the digital economy. I mean, everything we do in terms of location,
billions of dollars of commerce
is funded on the back of an infrastructure sustained, run by the U.S. Air Force.
By the U.S. Air Force, that's correct. And there's an entire place where that happens in Colorado. The point is that we as a nation have assets in space of incalculable value. And so when you think of what a military does, as a minimum, they would protect a nation's interest, a nation's assets. And space is another place. You have the ground, you have the air, and you have space. So it's not a weird idea to say we perhaps should have a space force. The question is, does the Air Force think that they can't handle it under the current administrative, bureaucratic structures? And if not, then maybe it's a good idea. But if the generals say, we got this, then I don't see the need to force it on them.
What I also have noticed in the last few months is that the Chinese and the Russians have gotten more active in very interesting ways. So the Chinese went up and destroyed one of their old satellites, and the Russians went up and essentially deactivated one. And I thought that they were, in some sense, signaling, you know, we have the capacity to go up into space and to screw around with stuff or to destroy it entirely. The fact that they could do it to theirs means they could just as easily do it to American stuff.
Every single thing you do in space is a capability. Okay? Can you send people into space? Can you dock in space? Can you spacewalk? Can you stay in space for months, for a year? Can you move a satellite? Can you destroy a satellite? Can you retrieve a satellite? All of this is you make note of this. So once you have this checklist, then yourself as well as your adversaries will look to see whether any of these can be sort of weaponized or used for nefarious purposes.
Do you think it's inevitable that space becomes an arena for conflict?
The UN Space Treaty that promises peaceful uses of outer space. By the way, there's more than just no nukes in space. It's if there's an astronaut in need from another country, then you're obligated to assist them. It's a very nicely worded document. But there's a part of me that always says, why do we promise we'll treat each other nicely in space? If that's successful, why don't we have a peaceful use of Earth treaty? If it works there, it seems to me it should work on Earth. Right. And if we can't get it to work on Earth, why should I have any confidence at all that somehow, oh no, we're in space, now we'll all be friends?
Right. But why would the arena make a difference? It's the political tensions that cause the rivalry.
And I know I sound cynical saying that, but human nature scares the hell out of me. And so I don't know. I think it'd be nice if peace in space led the way to peace on Earth. That'd be kind of good. When you're in space, you have a very different view of Earth. Earth is like, whoa, how come I don't see the color-coded countries that were in my schoolroom globe? Oh, because we made those lines. They're artificially created. We're humans on the speck of a planet we call Earth.
And it seems so small and fragile.
Oh, yeah, because it is small and fragile. It's just seen that way. It is small and fragile.
That was a long clip, but the thing that's being said now is basically space war. People don't seem to realize that America actually has a monopoly on space, and it's already causing issues. When they announced this space, what's it called again? I forgot the name of it. Space Force? Other countries were not happy. Because, again, as you just heard, people seem to forget that Americans have a hold on the GPS. It's actually all hosted in one country.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
They mind blowing to me.
They start the technology. They have a lot. And it's like, this is the same shit as first person to the moon, by the way. Like, America got there first, and this is the same thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, Space Force is amazing. other questions are all like, so what? Do you think that you're the leader of space now? This shit is already started all sorts of conflicts. It's like a fucking Star Wars movie already. So when I heard it, I knew this was going to happen. As soon as I'm like, yeah, Space Force, America are Space Force. It's like, what's that cartoon that the South guys, the South Park people made? Team America, World Police.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
I love that.
with the dolls, yeah.
They should make another Space Force, World Police.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
They
think seriously, it would be a great film. If you made it like a comedy film and you got it right, that would be.
Anyway,
really
what do you guys think? I know it's very techie, but this is a whole, you a lot of people thought we weren't here yet, but we kind of are. So
we here, man. And just regarding what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, like everything he said was making perfect sense. The bit about like, why do we need, if it doesn't work on Earth, like how is it going to work in space? A whole space treaty thing. I guess the idea is that because it's space, it's all like brand new and shiny. We're going to get it right. Yeah. But yeah, history proves that,
exactly,
it's probably not going to be as straightforward as that.
Exactly.
But it's.
Hate to be cynical, but I agree with you.
But I want to know a couple of things. Space Force, what are they supposed to be doing? What is that?
I thought you just said the air traffic control. It's not like they're controlling everything to do with everything above a certain part of the atmosphere. They're controlling it all. That's what it sounds like. Complete control.
No, I think, I don't know. Because they're already doing it. So why would they now say,
well, they said it was the military
need
air
some
control,
help.
but now they're just renaming it to be more. And they're going
if there was other technological advances and things like that, then maybe they're like, oh, you know what? We've got too much on our plate here dealing with Earth stuff.
Are you saying it's too early? Is it something you saying you think it's too soon?
Well, I just think this is just a distraction from Trump. I just think that there's no. First of all, they have no money to do this.
That's another big issue. Where's the money going to come from?
Yeah, where's the money going to come from? You think Congress is going to... He's just going to say, well, I tried to do this, but Congress stopped me. He said, no, because we got no money. We're dealing with a shit ton of other stuff that we need to deal with back on Earth. And now he's
no money for Space Force, Jody? No money for Space Force?
But Trump is just all about branding. He says, I want to do this. And then let's do it. He's like, yeah, well, who's going to pay for this? He's just like, no, I'm the ideas guy. You come up with the money. That's what he's done. It's just, Space Force is just like, well, okay, tell me what Space Force is supposed to be doing. Where are you going to get the money for this? People, beyond the branding, and you scratch the surface, this is all paper. Like, I guarantee you, China, Russia, they don't give a shit. They just see it as another joke. Like everything that Trump does, it's just like they're not taking him seriously.
But what about them going up in the, apparently China deactivated their one or
well, you know what?
Russia
it's their stuff to deal with, right? For the satellite. They must. I don't think it's a case where they're like, hey, we're just showing force here.
Not yet. No, I agree.
No,
not yet.
If it was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck up your American satellite, that's a different thing, But if it's just like, well, this is our satellite, we want to get rid of it. I'm sure they. It doesn't matter what their intention. It's their stuff to do with.
I'm more surprised this hasn't been founded by the UN, and the US is doing this first.
The thing is, the UN is like it's like a hollow. It doesn't really have any power.
Doesn't sound like it.
I know the EU UN has their own stuff about this. Yeah, do you remember that movie Gravity?
Yeah.
They had
great movie.
Exactly, great movie, and they talked about things like debris,
and
all the effects, and they just said like, well, we need to almost like, because anything that you destroy, there are consequences.
Yeah,
this will orbit the Earth.
It goes around. Apparently, there's a lot of debris from the broken satellites
There's a
already.
lot. Yeah, if you think about a century ago, like clear as day, whatever. But now it's just like you can imagine.
Even going to space is hard now. Going to the moon is very difficult.
Yeah, you can imagine another century's time. There has to be technologies to clean that shit up there. But
that's what the Space Force is there for, Jody.
That's part of it. The garbage men of space.
Space cleanup crew.
But yeah, I don't know. He hasn't made clear. For me, everyone keeps talking about Space Force, and I'm like, what do they do? I want to know what his initial plan is. The Air Force, you got it. When they split from the army, as Neil deGrasse Tyson said, it was for warfare. Now that Space Force thing, what are they going to do?
So wait,
they're going to do some Death Star shit? I don't know.
So what if the crew needed some levity? They had all the expenses paid trip for you to go on the Space Force, team to see them and do a set. You can go up there and give the guys some some jokes?
In space? Oh God, no! Oh God,
You're speaking about this.
No.
No,
You can pay me. You can pay me as much money as you want. I'm not going up there. I've seen way too many failed launches.
The first comedian in the space.
I do not care. That's one thing I'd be happy to miss out on. I've seen those space launches. It's like, and another teacher died today, and what's the first time they'll be an astronaut, and they, big explosion. No, just to make some Russian dude and some Chinese scientists, laugh, and they're probably like, nah, I've seen better. I could have just watched this on Netflix, and they're like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah,
space doesn't entice me personally either.
Same here, but I do think it's cool that I lived in a time where I lived in a time of Space Force.
But it's not here. Well, it's nowhere near being. I guess
2020.
It's cool.
They already got a mandate. Did you hear that? This is need to be done by 2020. They already got they're putting aside the funds already. They got date it has to be up by. I don't know if SpaceX or NASA who's going to be involved, but it says it's a military thing.
What are they going to do? I want to know what they're going to do. Someone tell me. I want to know throughout this whole conversation.
Space Force.
What are you going to do?
It does sound like a big distraction. I mean, even the name Space Force, it just sounds so
cool,
so childish.
It's cool.
Like NASA, for example.
You guys are killjoys. You guys are wet blankets up in here.
Why not give
Disney
it?
cartoon.
You need to give it like a really boring, like abbreviation, like NASA, for example, because Space Force, that just sounds like a
give
kid's
it some
cartoon.
random designation.
There's a kid out there.
This is Team 372. Like whatever.
That can actually say, "I want to join the Space Force now," and they're not talking about a computer game.
That kid is an idiot. That kid is an idiot.
I want to be on Space Force.
Yeah.
Space Force.
I was like, all right, Timmy, you go play with your imaginary friends there. All right. No, it's just the whole premise is ridiculous. That's why I don't think Neil deGrasse. He just started off the bat. He goes, I haven't put too much thought into this thing.
He sounded very skeptical. And if you saw the video, he was like, I don't. He sounded like he didn't like this. People were surprised, like, really? You talking about kind of space? Like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the right. I mean, until I start, first of all, finding out what they're gonna do and where he's gonna get the money, then yeah.
All right. The problem is, I've watched so much anime about space politics. Gundam is a whole series about space politics. So much space politics. Star Wars, Star Trek. That's a big part of my fantasy literature life, entertainment life. That I don't see anything but conflict with this. That's what these all sci-fi fantasy stories are about. Conflicts and politics in space. As soon as I heard about this, all I thought was drama. First thing that came to mind, drama. This shit's real. Star Trek shit's going to be real now. And it's not the fun, go to another planet and fuck aliens shit. It's the bureaucratic, boring money talk. Then, Jodie, you're kind of right. It's going to be bullshit. I like the name. That's the best thing that's going to come out of this shit.
In the future, you're right. I mean, like, people war and fight over things, be it, not only political, but it's also about, resources. Now, in terms of resources up in space, what is there to fight over? Now it's coming up with GPS and things like that. When those things start to become prominent, that's when, all right, there might be some conflicts. Like, you're in our, not airspace, but space, whatever they're going to call it.
Sure.
You're in our space, get the fuck out. That type of things when there's resources. But at this moment in time, no one's got anything invested in it.
No. But anyway, people are trying to get ahead of the curve before people can book property, because I'm sure some idiot, some company's going to be like, you can rent space in space right now. Reserve your space in space right now. Only cost you 10 grand.
Oh my gosh.
Just part of the moon.
I told you, man, we're fucked.
Probably more than that.
In the next few years, man. Next couple of generations, I hope I die.
I'm hearing some space sounds right now. Did you guys hear?
I did. I don't know if that was
Star Wars,
it was like a washing machine in the next building. I don't know.
Apologies, listeners, if you're hearing some of.
I don't think the listeners can hear. There's some one of my neighbors is having fun, playing Star Wars games up. So anyway,
some weird music. Man.
Let's move on to the last section. We've done all the voicemails, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna get to the movie trailers section. It's a meaty podcast. I had a lot of fun with this one. And now we're going to get to the movie trailers. First off, I will say this. I say this before. I think the quality of Netflix productions are getting better and better. I don't just look for trailers. I go to Netflix and look for their trailers. And we've got two, to me, pretty interesting Netflix trailers. And the first one I'm going to play is a limited series of Emma Stone and the fat kid from Superbad. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, God. I remember. He was in Moneyball.
He was in Moneyball as well. I can't remember his name. Josh something. Josh. Let's call him Fat Kid. All right, fat white kid with curly hair.
He's lost weight.
He lost a lot of
I'll
weight.
remember it. I'll remember it in a second.
You remember it? I'll play the trailer real quick, guys. Again, it's a very visual trailer, reminiscent of a very popular. What's his name again? That director.
What movie is he talking about?
I'm really getting old. I'm losing my memory. Inception. There you go.
Christopher
Nolan. Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, yeah.
Edit.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Oh, man.
Double edit.
There you go.
I'm not editing anything, guys. Let's play this trailer and then let's get back and talk about it.
Do you know where you are right now?
I'm in a drug trial.
What do you think is wrong with you?
I'm sick. But I don't matter.
What would you say this trial is showing you about yourself?
Is this therapy now?
It's not therapy. It's science. Once you begin to appreciate the structure of the mind, there's no reason to believe that anything about us can't be changed. Pain can be destroyed. The mind can be solved.
How many of your subjects have ended up catatonic?
0. Roughly.
My head doesn't work right. I thought maybe these people could fix me. Sounds stupid. That doesn't sound stupid to me.
Okay, people, let's begin.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My mind is playing tricks.
And that is Maniac, limited series from Netflix. What did you guys think?
Well, I've always been suspect of all Netflix movies. Really, for me,
It's a limited TV series, though.
well, this is it. That's the thing I'm okay with. Like, you
Okay.
know, with their series, you know, be it, you know, their original Netflix series, they've done far better. You know, so
True,
I mean,
true.
they may be throwing a curveball here, but I remember with movies like, was it Okja? You know, kind of that. You know,
Okja. I want to watch this. I watched it. You know,
that little kid going like Okja.
with the was it a pig?
Yeah, it was a big.
Some
it was like, you
weird-
know, some sort of
weird-looking
like.
creature. Did you watch it?
You know, yeah, genetically engineered.
Yeah.
I watched it. You know, because it
What'd
had
you
a,
think?
it
I
had,
haven't
a,
seen
it
it.
had a great cast. Was it
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton? You know,
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, and Glenn from Walking Dead. And I don't know
Oh,
the
he was
actor's
in
name.
it?
Yeah, he was in it. I don't know his name. I don't know his name. He's not that big yet. But I mean,
He's not,
you know,
he's not.
well, I watched it. And it was, you know, a pretty horrible movie.
Really?
It was very
I
like
heard a lot of good things about it.
it was.
So it was a CGI creature, right?
Yeah, it was a CGI creature. And things
Really?
like
I
that,
thought they
but-
dressed up a real creature.
No. It was, you know, it was a CGI one. There
Oh,
was
well.
but there's also other movies that, you know, Forrest Whitaker's just come out with one, hasn't he? Like,
Oh,
kind
forget
of
about
like-
him. Forget about him.
But you just
Hey.
see quite a few.
He does a lot of bad movies, you know, and a lot of good ones too.
It does a lot of good ones. When he nails it, he nails it. But
The
yeah,
Black Panther.
well, yeah, you know when he's there to pick up the paycheck type movies that he's
Yep.
doing. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, so but going back to this,
Yeah.
I think
When you saw it, you weren't enticed, or you thought, meh, or no?
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I'll be honest.
Okay.
You know? I'm not convinced by it. It seems I'm not even really that intrigued by it actually. You know, I just think that I don't know if they're going for some sort of Alice in Wonderland type shit.
Yeah.
You know, with different realities and what's going on, and then
A lot of people like those mind-bending movies.
it's
I didn't like
so emo.
Inception.
Did you not?
I didn't know. It just went too many layers. It just went too far. The concept for me is like I was good at 2 levels. When you go to 5, yeah, you just lost me.
Oh, when they went to that snow place, I was like,
down. It was just really no.
I lost interest in the snow, but actually it was okay. I mean, I remember the cinema. There was a round of applause. When
Of
the movie
course,
ended.
marvelous. Yeah,
Yeah,
visually
yeah,
stunning.
yeah.
But just jumping off you, forgot Stanley.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I see that. I see it as a weird project. I've got the same sentiments as you. I wasn't really getting enticed. Maybe I think it would have been better as a film, at least from what I've seen from that trailer. I think over the span of 6 episodes or however long it's going to be, it's got the potential to get.
I think they said 6. Yeah.
Really twisted and bendy and go all over the place, but the overall sort of sentiment is that, yeah, I'm not particularly enticed by it. I'm not sure.
I mean, they've both got good track records in terms of what projects they choose.
True.
Jonah Hill and Emma
that's
Stone,
true.
they're quite known for like, all right, but I mean, I don't
Good
know
stuff.
if Netflix were like, here's a truckload of money. You know,
I think they're producers on the movie as well. I think it's like one of their babies. They've actually worked on it, so you know, so they've had some creative control on this. Look, I saw this. I just thought I don't like mind-bending movies because they spend too much time building up to the mind-bending part, which is the better part. And then at the end, they try to mess with you, the audience. You're not just watching two people get mad. They try to trick you. And with me, that's like, But the thing I like about this movie that I saw, I think they're not showing you the love story. I think there's a love story between the two main characters. I'm a sucker for a love story. That's what it seemed to me. And I think that could be a good injection in this genre for me, per se. But saying that, I know they're gonna just try to mess with your head. What's real? What's fake? These movies always go too far, too cerebral, to the point where they try to trick you. Where it ends, what's the ending? I don't know. Is this real? Are you the one with a headache? Are you the one that's insane? I'm just like, fuck you. I just want to watch a movie. I'm not tripping. I don't want to go on a trip. I just want to watch a trippy movie.
Yeah. When that put me off, he goes, that sometimes my head isn't right or something like that. I was like, gosh.
There we go.
Yeah, you're too emotional for me.
All right.
Okay.
Well, reception was mediocre on it, but let's move on to the next trailer.
Just quickly,
okay.
Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Was she the one in Superbad with him?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Superbad, La La Land, all that stuff, yeah.
From the very beginning, that was the girl.
Teaming up again on another film.
Thanks for reminding. As soon as you said that, I remember that, and he headbutted her in the end, right? He gave her a black eye. He fell on her face. He fell on her face and gave her a black eye.
Yeah, it was a very funny film.
It was really good. He was meant to kiss her, and then he fell on her face.
But he was just a massive ball of cringe.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah, two completely different films. It just shows that they've
grown, innit? That was,
way,
you're making me feel, that was over 10 years ago. I think
Was it?
For Superbad's old. I think it was 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Shouldn't have brought that up. Okay.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
All right, let's bring things up and let's talk about this movie that is kind of hip-hop inspired, fun movie called The After Party, another Netflix production. I'll tell you right now, I like what I saw here. Very visual, guys. You want to see this, not just hear it. But let's play a little clip of it.
Yo, we've been going hard for like 3 years.
Hey, Owen.
I got a show.
Owen is a rapper.
Oh, cute.
You either with me or...
Tonight, this show is gonna get us the deal.
You either with me or...
Tonight's about fate. It's about murdering that mic out there.
Win.
That's Wiz Khalifa.
Do you think? Thanks, fam.
I know this will come as no surprise to anyone here, but Wiz Khalifa has some incredibly strong weed.
Young L's the one they know so well. Real recognize, really, your name ring no bells.
Yo, Wiz, this shit is strong. I'm smacked.
Not my Yeezys, bro. World star.
So they're calling him Seizure Boy, and they even have a seizure dance.
You're Seizure Boy.
Nah.
What fuck am I doing?
Is it over for this guy?
Stick a fork in him, he's done.
What's the name of hand, boy? Let it go.
I thought it looked fun.
I think it looks like a fun movie. And this is coming from a guy that usually, when it, like, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I usually don't like hip-hop-y movies. Like
Same here.
Talking about someone who's trying to become like a rapper or something like that.
Hate them.
But this had, when I was watching the trailer, I had this vibe of hip-hop meets The Hangover. The Hangover movie with...
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Did you ever see this movie called Project X?
That's what is exactly what I was going to say.
No.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what this movie... Project X
This
is
is
a
what
movie.
this movie is going to be like. Imagine a house party back in the day. That's for some old heads who's listening to this. House party and Project X. Where
me and you on the same.
I think they are just quite unashamed about... This is just going to be a straight up party.
And
movie.
that is two great movies, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't a story.
House Party and Project X.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so there's another movie called House Party.
No, you're talking about the original House Party, right?
Original House Party.
With Kid and Play.
Yeah, because this is called After Party.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
so
there's a movie called House Party, Kid and Play.
Yeah.
Like early 90s.
Yeah. Love it.
And
House Party 1 and 2, amazing.
Yeah. They came out with 3 at the end and stuff like that. We won't
don't talk about
3. That was the
Okay.
Godfather 3 of hip hop.
Exactly.
But yeah. But you know what? It's the Project X house party. They were just basically like, this is a party movie.
Amazing. Project
so
X
fucked
is
up shit's
amazing.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be crazy, and then that's it. So I hope that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And like, you know, obviously we didn't hear the end of that trailer there, but you know, a lot of hip hop stars are gonna be in this.
Yes, a lot.
Doing
A lot
their
of name
cameos
dropping.
and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's gonna be switch your brain off. Don't take this seriously.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna act like.
And the kids were funny. These kids were kind of funny.
Yeah.
They were. They were. I have to give them. They look like a couple of nobodies, but
yeah,
they were funny. They were funny, including the guy who's meant to be like the childhood friend. That's meant to be managing him.
Yeah.
You just reminded me.
Yeah.
Voicemail, I apologize. We actually skipped the hip hop question. We had a hip hop question. The voicemail to call in next week, guys. I'm gonna hold on to that question. We got a hip hop question next week. Don't worry, I'm gonna save that one. But yeah, trailer looks good. After party, looks good. You know, check it out. We'll see. And hey, it's on Netflix. That's even a bigger win. You never go to the theater to see it.
Yeah,
and it looks that good. So better than some theater movies I've seen actually.
Yeah, actually,
that's all Mission Impossible Fallout. I didn't like it at all.
Really? Some people said it's really good.
I fell asleep through most of it.
Are you serious?
Seriously?
But the best scene was when Tom Cruise was running for 15 minutes after Superman.
I had
amazing run. You've never seen a run like this before.
I had two people say it's the best action movie they've ever seen.
No.
Really?
All right.
The action's good, but the plot is just so they've done the same plutonium. Here's the plot of Mission Impossible Fallout. Someone's got plutonium and they're gonna blow up the world if they don't stop the plutonium.
Was there another nuclear one? Okay. All right. Well, now I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to watch it this weekend. You saved me a ticket.
And there's about 5 twists, and they all take off their masks again. Don't get me started.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next trailer before I bitch on anymore. And this is for. Remember that movie back in the 90s, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt?
Indeed.
He could read women's minds. It's 2018. Is that 20 years later? God. And now we have a female version with Taraji P. Henson. It's called What Men Want. And this trailer is playing right now.
I'm so sick of this boys club. Every day is payday.
You don't connect well with men. Just stay in your lane.
I don't trust women who don't get dudes. Like I don't trust a man with no eyebrows and too many keys.
I know someone you should talk to.
I can help you connect with men. Why don't we have some tea?
This smells like dirt.
Oh, that's just jasmine tea. If you don't count the weed and the peyote and the crack.
Oh, hello. Welcome back, Miss Davis. Thank God this one didn't die on me. Starting today, no more drinking at work.
Hey, that's too much information.
I didn't say anything.
I feel weird after last night.
Yeah, that's what happens when tequila meets desperation.
Okay, stop saying things you shouldn't be saying to your boss.
Holy crap. Can you hear my inner thoughts?
I can hear your inner thoughts. Oh my God.
I can only hear men's thoughts.
That cloud you're walking through, that's my farts.
You know when this trailer lost me? When he said...
That fart joke?
The fart one.
That was just like, ugh. But before that, when I nearly choked, it was when he said, "Can you hear my inner voice? I can hear inner voice." Ah! I thought...
That was the second point for me. For me, is when Tracy Morgan did that weird joke that just went over my head about the eyebrows. I was like,
He always does that. It's like, there's not enough crickets to hear at that
whole
point.
army of crickets. Oh, man.
You know why this frustrates me the most? I don't, this is just looks like a really bad generic movie, but they took such a good concept. Someone could have done something so much better with this idea, and they, using the same branding as well. Don't get me wrong, the Mel Gibson one wasn't a fucking masterpiece, of course, but it was somewhat interesting, and it wasn't as. This seems very goofy, and Taraji P. Henson just came off that movie, Acrimony with Tyler Perry. I really like the movie. I know Tyler Perry is a bit of an idiot and does all these pro-Christian movies and stuff like that, Medea, but very entertaining. That movie, excellent performance by her. She had another movie earlier this year where she was an assassin and she had to rescue some black kid and it didn't do very well. I think it's called Mary Jane or something. didn't do well at all. But you know,
she seems to be having a sort of end of a Twilight boom in her career. Like,
well, she was. I mean, Rose of Prominence was it? Hidden Figures, things like
Thank
that.
you. Last year, Hidden Figures.
That's
Yeah,
what kicked it off.
Yeah. So
Girls
I mean,
Trip.
Yeah,
she was. No, but
she wasn't in that though.
But she was finally
Wasn't
taken.
she? No. Oh, sorry.
But she was finally taken as a serious actress, though. I
From
think.
Benjamin Button, she was in Benjamin Button, and
Yeah.
you know, and then
I think
Hustle and Flow.
She's paid her dues because
She has.
back in the day. What was it? Baby Boy. She was in
I was
that.
telling Stanley about that.
Yeah,
Baby Boy.
so
Yeah,
she's come a long way because there's like there's a black circuit of black actors.
Sure,
they just do all the
of
same
course,
movies
of
like
course.
Best Man and Best
Of
Man
course,
Holiday.
of course.
And I was like, I've seen you in the same 8 different slightly
ironically, she
different
wasn't even
versions.
in that franchise though.
She wasn't. She
Yeah.
wasn't. But I'm sure that there's a small little bit different.
No, she works
reflection
with
of that.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
She's been in like 4
There
of his
you go.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was terrible. This one looks terrible. Actually,
She's just doing, I want some money, I
Yeah.
don't care, pratfall. She hit her head like a fucking, like a pratfall. Oh, good. Now I'm telekinetic or whatever. Now I'm telepath.
you know what? What would actually be far funnier
What's
if listeners should watch his Dave Chappelle sketch. He actually did a sketch on this.
I heard about
Of
that.
that version of
Yeah.
imagine if women heard what men's thoughts were.
Yeah.
And then they were all in the elevator and then they were just saying the most horrific stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like even the little kid
proper
walked in and he just gave her a
misogynistic
look. And then he just said he thought some horrible stuff. And that was genuinely so funny.
Wow.
And
to go
true.
on YouTube,
Because it was funny. in
So
that
I should
way.
watch that instead of watch this movie. That's what you're saying.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You can YouTube it and you probably have more laughs in that 3-minute sketch than you probably will in that, couple of hours of a movie. 90 minutes of a movie there.
You know what? I did have to comb through some other trailers, but everyone's talking about this one. It's just such a disappointment. But she's overexposed. I think she's just a bit overexposed right now.
Yeah, she's in everything at the moment.
And she's still on fucking Empire too.
It's
Cookie. That's a good performance though.
Again, I think that's part of her renaissance. I think that's what kind of helped her elevate, her status there. And
Well,
then
I can't hate her getting that money, So let me not hate on getting that money. But guys, that's pretty much the show. We're gonna have to cut some things for time, but you know what? I think we're hitting the mark that we always hit, nearly 2 hours. So we gotta call this off. So Stanley and Jolene, where can the people get in touch with you?
So, guys, you can get in touch with me on Instagram and Twitter at SJ_. That's SJ_.
you can find me on all social media outlets as Joe Lead Farah. So at Joe Lead Farah. Or just, me just wandering around the streets. So yeah.
No, you're doing big things, man. You got some plans. We're gonna keep an eye on you. And guys, don't forget, you can go to voiceofmail.com and you can see all our profiles there. I'm Donald Wonder, Jesse James. You can follow me as well at Don Tyro. But last announcement, which I forgot to mention at the head of the podcast, we have actually launched our Patreon campaign. Patreon's a service where you can support the creators you like by funding them on tiers, $3, $5. Guys, if you got the spare change and you don't feel like buying a crappy Starbucks, but you want to throw us that change to help us continue what we're doing, paying for the
So that
server
we can
costs.
have Starbucks.
No, we got bills to pay. We got the server costs, we got the voicemail costs, we got the website, we got, believe it or not, it costs money to make a good podcast. And if you feel like it's worth your time, and if you have, again, let me stress this, only give if you can, if it doesn't hurt your pocket, and if you really appreciate what we're doing, we appreciate it. We don't want anyone to break the bank, but everyone, Patreon is part of the zeitgeist right now of funding creators. There's never been a time where you can fund people you like directly better than it is now. And we thank Patreon for allowing us to do that on their platform. We thank you for considering becoming the patron of our page. Again, if you go to voicemail.com, there's a part that says support in the top right corner. If you hit the right tier, you will be on our wall of fame. You'll be a Vomp star. Ooh. You know what I mean? And down the line, hopefully we can get merch and we can give you some proper perks. We can give you some special one-on-one voicemails. There's so much things we can do.
We were talking beforehand and we've got loads of good ideas.
Loads of good ideas,
Get
but
that
Vomp
merch. If you're two gay fat guys wanting to have sex,
we've got our first
they
idea.
were like, "Oh, this is my shirt, dog. Go." Yeah.
Guys, we love doing this. We're gonna do this continuously regardless. But if you give us, if you become one of our patrons, we do appreciate that. So thank you guys. Don't forget, you can go to voiceofmail.com, Send us a voicemail or go to vomp.site on any smart device. Trending, topical, trivial. We've done it all. This is another good example of how much variety we have on our shows.
And we missed out a couple of things as well. So
we did, but we gotta go. We can't do it all in one day. Let's leave something for next time. So guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening.
Pleasure as always.
Pleasure's mine. Bye bye, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next recording.